An abandoned ranch adjacent to the northern slopes of Mt Archuleta, northwest of Dulce, New Mexico. Was this a former CIA operation? Here's a photo courtesy of Greg Valdez. It shows a hunting stand. But was this just a disguise? It has been known by many researchers that the now defunct National Institute for Discovery Sciences, NIDS, formerly headed by Las Vegas billionaire Robert Bigelow, who presently owns Bigelow Aerospace, reportedly had made an investigation earlier, that is to say around 1998, regarding this rather suspicious ranch. This still seems to be unsolved. This ranch, now totally abandoned and still off limits to anybody, has often been associated as part of an alleged Dulce base. This ranch is not visible from Dulce. In fact, Mt Archuleta itself is not even visible from Dulce. Mt Archuleta is located close to the northwestern portion of the Archuleta Mesa. From Dulce, only the Archuleta Mesa and the Archuleta Peak, where the radio towers are located, are visible. Now, here's an interesting report which was made by NIDS. End quote. It has been reported in the media and on the internet that the Redding War Ranch is rumored to be an undercover facility engaged in secret activity connected with Mt Archuleta. These rumors further state that the ranch has 8 armed guard watchtowers, now possibly disguised as hunting stands, scattered along the property. Now these photos, courtesy of Edmund Gomez. Now, what is interesting is this. Is there more to the Redding Ranch than the above explanation by NIDS? Yes, I think so. Here's what Edmund Gomez from Dulce said about this, and I agree with him. And I quote, "Based on the source of research by NIDS, yes, this was their take on the ranch years after the ranch left its defense down and allowed folks to travel through it. From early 1960s to the late 1980s, you could not trespass on the Redding Ranch, not even to retrieve a cow. Why? And this is the million-dollar question. And why are all the structures, including the towers, doors, and windows in bunkhouse, constructed of a very heavy gauge steel, making them bulletproof? NIDS continues to provide information, or is it disinformation, to keep us off track, in my opinion," said Edwin Gomez. He also stated that in the fall of 1997, I led Gabe Valdez, the late former New Mexico State Patrol officer in charge of the Dulce area, and 2 other scientists from NIDS on the expedition and continued through up to Mt Archuleta. We were able to go directly to the towers, enter, photograph, and see the tags with the manufacturer. I told them that the glass, doors, shutters, and structures were bulletproof and was going to show them, but inexplicably Gabe Valdez stopped me. I could not get them to go to the bunker house or bunkhouse and hangar to investigate further. Also, I noticed that the airstrip had been plowed and planted with oats. But again, no interest was shown from that time on by the NIDS folks. Now, I could not agree more with the above quotes from Edmund Gomez. I also never trusted NIDS. By the way, Greg Valdez, in his excellent book, Dulce, mentions that the late Mr. Redding owned Houston Blowpipe and Steel and was a military contractor, providing manufacturing of heavy-duty plate rolling, which was commonly used at the Nevada test site for construction of underground tunnels during the testing of nuclear bombs in Nevada. Mr. Redding's company also provided air circulation systems, which would be convenient technology to have for the construction of an underground base or tunnel. Redding Ranch is currently owned by the Southern Ute tribe, which purchased it from W.A. Redding on August 16th of 2005. It now seems to be abandoned, but of course it's off limits to anybody. Mr. Redding passed away in 2009 in Texas. Redding acquired the property, by the way, in 1976. Now, according to Greg Valdez, in his book Dulce, the land directly south of the Redding Ranch did not indicate a previous owner. Now, the key to this is the fact that the United States government owned all the land or the property prior to 1965, and it wasn't the Forest Service or the Bureau of Land Management. When Edmund Gomez looked into the property records during the 1980s, he found fictitious companies listed, which was a common tactic of agencies such as the CIA, as the owner on record of the Redding Ranch. After Edmund's findings of the fictitious companies became public, the ownership records changed back again to Mr. Redding. Now, the big question is this: was this some type of a remote test site operated by the CIA? This is Norio Hayakawa, Rio Rancho, New Mexico, USA.